Welcome to Britain, a developing country, a show that looks at the UK's emerging industries within property development, the arts, lifestyles and culture.
In our programme Developing Britain, we're looking at more than just developing buildings and bricks and mortar. We're talking about habits that are developing within the country, but tonight we're talking about developing the education and skills of our young people. Tonight at the Harrow Club there is the Debate Box event, which is a mixture of boxing and debate. The kids have worked hard to get to this point, and we hope that their skills will relate into the business world in the future. I'm with Philippe Chapat this evening. We're at the Harrow Club. We're here to look at a rather special event tonight called Debate Box. But before we go into that, Philippe, this isn't your normal occupation. I'd like to know how you got involved here.
So I got involved because I was looking for a location for a boxing club in the centre of London, close to the Tower Blocks, where we could launch a community boxing club. And I got pointed in the direction of Harrow Club. And this space, which we're currently filming in, became the boxing club. But we needed to do more than just boxing to get the kids in, and also to raise the profile of the Harrow Club. So then we decided to launch boxing with something else, and the idea was then to combine it with debating. So that's why we've got to Debate Box.
Now your day job is something rather different.
It is.
You're a partner of a substantial law firm.
Yes.
In the City of London. What drew you to this particular area and the academies around here?
So I live 500 metres from this area. And one of the great things about this area is you've got some of the nicest houses in London, in Notting Hill, that are very close to some of the poorest areas.
Yes.
In the UK. And that is a challenge, but also an opportunity to get local people involved in activities to help other local people and to create a bridge between the two communities. And I saw this boxing club as very much something that could perhaps attract young people from both communities.
Okay, and what sort of age group are we looking at? What's the starting age for being a member, if you like, of the club?
Well, so the club more generally is primary school and secondary school, roughly. So, but the boxing club is really 12 to 18, and we're very focused now in terms of targeting all our activities to young people 12 to 18, because there are a lot of other youth clubs that are very successful with young children, but after the age of 12, youth clubs tend to lose young people. So the challenge is to have activities that are really attractive for young people in the 12 to 18 brackets. And of course, that is also the category of kids who are particularly vulnerable to gangs and falling by the wayside. So we're really focused on 12 to 18-year-olds in this area, people from the Tower Blocks and the big estates near the Grenfell Tower. We're only 300 metres from the Grenfell Tower.
I see. So your typical member will come from the local academies?
So
how will you draw those in?
So we developed a program, and then we went and approached the local schools, 3 local academies, which is Phoenix, Aldridge, and Burlington Danes, which are within a mile of here. And we told them about the program, and we asked them to identify the kids that would most benefit from it. So, and that enabled us to attract a whole new generation of young people into the club, and in particular, the young kids who are at the risk of exclusion. As I'm sure you're aware, exclusion from academies is a big issue, particularly in this area. Yes. And once kids get excluded, they fall out of mainstream education. It's very difficult for them to come back in. So we launched this as very much something that was attractive to young people who are at the risk of exclusion. And we talked to the headmasters, they bought into it straight away. And over the last 3 years, we really built up momentum behind the programs. So much so that we've now got 2 of the 3 headmasters who will be with us this evening during the debate box to witness what we've been able to do with their kids.
Okay, so from day one, how many members were there here and how many members are there here today?
Well, we started debate box as a pilot with 12 to 15 kids. This year, we got funding, sufficient funding to run the program properly in 3 schools. And the target was 15 kids, roughly from 3 schools. But we got about 40 to 50 young people regularly engaged in debating and boxing from those 3 schools in that very difficult age group of 14 to 16-year-olds.
Okay, and you mentioned funding. Where does your funding come from?
Well, the funding for this program we're going to raise this evening. That's traditionally how we've done it. We do a mixture of raising money from the debate box fundraising event tonight, which we do on an annual basis, but we also go for institutional funds. So one of the city guilds has also helped us fund, and they've actually funded debate box for the whole of next year.
Okay, Philip, we're going to talk to Joe O'Toole in a moment, who's a director of Debate Box, and he's going to talk to us about the specific event tonight. Just like to say, we're all very impressed here at Property TV. We see a lot of enthusiasm here tonight. You've obviously started quite an event here, and we really do wish you the very best of luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm with Michael Defoe, director of the Harrow Club. Michael, good evening. We've talked to Philippe Chapat about how his involvement started with the club and his interest in here, and presumably you've taken it to the level it is now in terms of boxing and sport.
Absolutely, yeah. We felt it important to fuse both the debate and the boxing together, so we've got a bit of education as well as physical activity as well. So for us, it's a marriage which is with positive outcomes for our young people. So they get the best of both worlds. So they get a bit of educating into how to maybe communicate more effectively at school, and then also they get a physical aspect where they're able to train, be a lot healthier, and think about keeping a healthy state of mind as well.
Okay. Now, how do the schools react initially to a boxing club? Do they resist the violence?
Well, I think a few of them were like, whoa, and a few of them were like, we actually do boxing because we need to channel the energy and aggression of these young people in today's society. And we felt that boxing was another vehicle, as well as the debate mate, and as well as a lot of other kind of activities that we do at the club.
Now, you're obviously a sporting chap, so how did you envisage the marriage between debate and boxing going?
Well, it was quite strange, really. It all made sense once Philippe kind of put it into a package, and then we were like, yeah, of course, you know, it'd be a wonderful idea. So for us, it was a no-brainer to sort of say, this is a brilliant way to endorse education within the school systems and be able to work with the schools, and also provide that physical element and maybe target some vulnerable and at-risk young people who are on the verge of maybe getting excluded from school. So we kind of put everything into a whole package.
You're almost a second home then?
Well, absolutely, and that's what we want to kind of achieve here, because the Harrow Club is a Harrow Club family, because we've got 3 additional youth clubs: White City Youth Club, St. Zen's Youth Club, and also Old Oak. And all of these clubs will have boxing as part of their activities program. So hopefully we can spread it within.
And we're told you have 2 headmasters attending tonight, so that's great interaction, isn't it?
It is, and I'm glad that we've got buy-in from the schools, because that's most important for us, and it makes our job a lot easier. And I think it's a good relationship as well that we're building in terms of young people's education, young people's behaviour and attitude towards a lot of things in today's society. So we feel it's very important.
Right. So how have some of these young guys and girls come through to get to tonight?
So a lot of them are on the verge of, well, were on the verge of getting excluded from school or involved in detentions and so forth. And now they've kind of turned a corner where they've actually have something positive to focus on. And also it's accessible to every kind of young person. So whether you're a vocal young person, whether you're a physical young person, you both can contribute towards this program and both can be valued at the same level as well. So it's very important for us. So, you know, you could be a brilliant boxer, but you might not be able to debate as well. So it's about improving the skills for each one. And then also it's about support from their peers as well. So you know, you get your peers and say, well, don't worry about it, I don't want to read out in front of a group. And it's important for you other peers to say, it'll be fine. So, you know, it's that peer mentoring as well that we encompass as well at the club.
Okay. And do you recognise any boxing talent with your teams tonight?
Oh, without a doubt. I think we've got 3 or 4 potentially could go all the way, but it all depends on their attitude, knowledge and skills. So we want to raise that level, and hopefully they will take that path if they want to do boxing.
Okay. Michael, you're obviously doing a great job. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to talk to you.
And you too.
After the break, Stephen speaks to Joseph O'Toole, Executive Programme Director of DebateMate, and 2 head teachers participating in the programme. Before the break, Stephen spoke to Philippe Chapat about his involvement in the Harrow Club and Michael Defoe, its director, about how they have implemented the programme. In this half, we speak to Joe O'Toole, Executive Programme Director of DebateMate, and 2 of the head teachers participating in the programme.
I'm with Joe O'Toole, Director of DebateMate. Good evening, Joe. We're here at your special event tonight, Debate Box. So the first thing I'm going to do is ask you to tell our viewers what DebateMate is all about.
So DebateMate was set up 10 years ago as an educational charity, and the mission of it was a social mobility organisation to use debating as a vehicle to teach young people a key set of transferable skills that will help them go on to achieve whatever they want to achieve in life. So those skills are critical thinking, creative thinking, empathy, resilience, the ability to influence people through your communication, but above all to create really confident young people that have confidence in the decisions they want to make. And that's what DebateMate was set up as. We started off in 30 schools in London, and we're now in 300 schools across the UK and have global programs in different parts of the world. And it's a really amazing program. We've seen really amazing impact on young people that have been through the program right from primary school all the way up into getting into some of the top universities and top jobs across the country.
Okay, so we've heard about the Harrow Club, we've heard about how it started. How did DebateMate end up here?
So we were introduced through Philippe, one of the trustees at the Harrow Club, and he introduced us to Michael Defoe, because we had a plan to design a debate box programme that would mix together both debating and boxing. And it sounded like a bit of a crazy idea at first, and we trialled it out, we did a pilot, and it turns out it went really well. And from there we've built from working with just a small group of students in one school to working with a much larger group in multiple different schools in the West London area.
Right, so we see upstairs a beautiful set of tables. Obviously people are going to have a lovely dinner tonight, and they're going to be treated to a boxing match and debate. Tell us how the competition works.
So the way Debate Box was designed is that we identified a set of shared skills between debating and boxing. You need to, for both sets of skills, you need to be able to think strategically, think on your feet, make good decisions under pressure. You have to train and be disciplined. And we've designed a program that merges all of those skills together in a cross-discipline competition, and that's Debate Box, which we'll be at tonight. And the way it will work is we'll have 2 teams of 4. The first speaker on side proposition, which is the agree side, will make their speech in front of the crowd. Then the opposition will make their speech in front of the crowd. The bell will go, and both speakers will then fight each other in the ring. There'll be a judging panel who's judging both their debating and boxing, and the winning team will be the team with the best combined score of debating and boxing.
Okay, and how have these kids got here tonight? How have they had to go through qualifying rounds, or?
Yeah, so the Debate Box programme runs after school, multiple days a week, working with different schools, and we run training programmes in which students have to attend 1 hour of debating and 1 hour of boxing. And it's been an amazing success to help young people channel different energies into productive outlets. And throughout those programmes, we've had competition rounds where you get scores and you knock out teams as you go through. And there's a real kind of competitive nature around the West London schools. And this is the final of that event, where students have been working for the last year on the programme to get to this point at the big Harrow Club showcase.
It really is an educational extension, isn't it? It's really well done.
Thank you.
Joe, we can see your enthusiasm. You're obviously very passionate about it. Here at Property TV, we've seen the kids here tonight. They're all bubbling with excitement. You've done a fantastic job. Thank you so much for inviting us here tonight, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm with David Benson, who's head teacher at the Kensington Aldridge Academy. Good evening, David. I think I'd probably better watch my P's and Q's. I've never talked to a head teacher before.
I'll go easy on you, Steve.
Please do, yes, please do. Look, we've dragged you away from the main event upstairs, but what I wanted to talk to you about, we've talked to the founding director of the club here, we've talked to the sporting director, we've understood what Debate Mate is all about. What I'd like to understand is how it interacts with the school and what sort of benefits are you seeing from this interaction?
A whole range of benefits, and we've been working with the Harrow Club and Debate Mate and Debate Box for several years now. But what it's really helping us to do is with students who perhaps are a bit harder to reach through the normal curriculum or the normal extracurricular activities that the school can offer, it's given us something different. And we found that almost without exception, the students who we've directed towards the Harrow Club and Debate Box in particular have loved it and flourished.
Right, okay. And were you not alarmed when you were first approached with this, perhaps, you know, the thought of boxing and debating? I mean, they're not natural partners, are they?
No, indeed. I'm one, you know, my staff are, you know, and my governors feel that actually sometimes taking a bit of a risk and doing something differently, particularly when you're faced with these really complicated problems around kids at risk of exclusion from school or gangs or knives, is a good thing. And I had a lot of confidence in Philippe and the guys at the Harrow Club. I thought they clearly had thought through what they were trying to do. And, you know, we had a go. We started quite small. So originally there was just a handful of students, and then it's grown and grown, and we've now had a large number who've either gone through the programme and graduated or who are currently involved.
Right. We've learnt this evening that the club is in actual fact open very late, I think at the weekends, is it not? How do you feel about this late night opening? I think
it's excellent. I think it's really good. I think it's very, very difficult, the way that youth services and clubs like this are being cut or scaled back or having to cope with big funding pressure. And I think the fact that we have somewhere that has been able to not just stay open, but expand in this climate makes a big difference. I mean, as a head, you almost always see where there's high-level behaviour issues and children at risk of getting permanently excluded from school, a correlation between that and them being out late in the evenings, often on the street, often where they're very vulnerable.
Yes. Well, it's this void between school and supervision, isn't it?
Yeah.
That if it's empty, then problems arise. Have you actually noticed any improvement in conversational matters, on debating matters, being able to stand up and talk?
100%. So there's improvements in terms of attitude, attendance, health and fitness, but there's specific improvements around their oracy, their ability to project, how articulate they are, how confident they are. I mean, undoubtedly, this is working and it has an impact.
Okay. And would you see this spreading across a lot of London schools?
I think that it's such a quality product here, but I think that quality flows from the people involved. So you will have met some of them today, yes. The coaches, the mentors, the trustees. You know, they're really passionate about this. They really want to make it work. I worry that if it scales, that could be diluted, you know?
Yes.
But also I'm selfish, aren't I? Like any good head, I want to hold on to something that's making a difference in my community. So I would like this to be, you know, for 5-10 years, and that for me is the priority.
Okay. Well, I have to say we've seen the enthusiasm right from the girls and boys right up to the trustees, so it seems to work very well. You're to be commended on your involvement here, and we wish you every success with it. And now we'll let you get back to the main event. Thank you for your time.
Steve. Cheers.
Thank you. I'm with Ollie Knight, head teacher of the Phoenix Academy, a much improved London school. Ollie, I'm sure you're going to tell me all about that. So please tell me first about your association with the Harrow Club.
So we do a number of things with the Harrow Club. I would say that the most important element of it is the Debate Box programme, which we're relatively new to. We've really kind of committed to it this year, and it's been about helping students that otherwise would have no interest in kind of debating or for whatever reasons, peer pressure, wouldn't sign up to one of our debating programs in school, and they've really kind of signed up for the kind of the physical flexibility.
So they've taken to the boxing rather than talking.
Yeah, we've hooked them with the physical flexibility that boxing provides, and then we've developed their kind of cognitive or mental flexibility through the debating, and they've now started to really engage with debating and, as well as the kind of physical.
How many of you students are involved in the Harrow Club?
So we've got about 15 at the moment, which is small, but I think the impact is because it's small. And I think if we tried to roll this out whole school, you'd just lose the quality of it. It would be really, really difficult to do.
Okay. And have you got any in the teams tonight
Yes,
that are heading for success?
Yeah, we've got a number here tonight. There's about 8 students here tonight, it's really, really interesting to look at the kind of the students that are here, because as I said, they wouldn't volunteer for formal debating, but we've seen them really grow in confidence, but also in their ability for when I walk in to kind of say, "Hi sir, how's it going? How's your day?" So they're far more confident orally than they were this time last year.
We're hearing from many of the people that are involved that it's almost a second home for them.
Yeah, which I think is really, really important. I'm not going to get too political about cuts to, youth services, but yes, this provides a really safe, calm space for our students.
Do you get any help from either local authorities or government in terms of funding for this operation?
No, so our students kind of come here, and I guess it's part of our general school provision.
And this is all privately funded.
Exactly, so which is huge for us because we're a relatively small school. We haven't got money to throw around, so it's a really, really powerful thing for us.
Well, it's a great initiative, and once again, Ollie, we've noted the enthusiasm of everybody from top to bottom here. Really wish you good luck with the project. We hope it works for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, and sorry for taking you away from the main event.
Thanks very much.